Just like that, my fingerprint works. If your goal is to have a smart home, the smart home should actually start before you enter your home, at the front door. So right here we have the Philips Home Access electronic deadbolt with 4 means of access, including a PIN code, a fingerprint, a one-time PIN code, or a mechanical key if you happen to be old school. Now the cool thing about having a one-time PIN code is you can make unlimited one-time PIN codes to give out to people so they can access your home one time and then the code expires and doesn't work anymore. For example, if you have somebody coming over to feed your pets, you'd be like, okay, here's a PIN code, they can enter in your home, go do their job, and then leave, and then they can never come back and do anything else. Unless of course you want them to, then you can give them another one-time PIN next week when they have to do it again. Now the best thing about this smart door lock is that it's extremely easy to install with a standard Phillips head screwdriver in a matter of minutes all by yourself. And not only does it feature all those ways of unlocking your door, but it'll also automatically lock your door so you don't have to worry about, oh, I left the house, did I lock the door? You'll always know that it's locked because it did it by itself. Inside the box, we have a quick start guide to let you know how to use the lock, a template in case you need to make a hole for the lock, a user manual, along with the lock itself. So first things first, we do have the interior assembly here, so you can see it'll lock and unlock, and it does work for both left and right doors. Right here on top, we do have a simple battery compartment. You pop it open and put 4 AA batteries. Now with those 4 AA batteries, you get about a year of battery life and unlocks, which is very good. And then once the battery does start running low, it will alarm you to let you know to change them before they happen to die. Otherwise, if they do die because you're lazy and don't want to replace the batteries, you can use the metal key as a backup. Also inside underneath the batteries, you do have a reset button in case you want to reset the lock, along with a button right here that'll automatically lock the door with a single touch. Next up right here, we do have the exterior assembly, which looks very nice. We have a nice glossy black finish here with all the lights right here that will illuminate when the lock is active. We also do have a light up here at the top that will indicate what's going on with the lock. For example, when you unlock the door, or maybe someone else puts their finger and it's not registered. Down here at the bottom, we do have the all-important fingerprint sensor, and then this is actually very cool. This actually slides open for the mechanical keyhole in case the battery dies, or maybe somebody just wants to use a metal key because they don't like technology. Very cool, I like that. And then over here on the back, we do have the connector that's gonna connect through the door to the interior assembly, so that way you can get power from the batteries and connect the whole lock together. And also inside the box, we do have 2 metal keys, all the screws you need for installation, as well as the deadbolt that you're definitely gonna need if you wanna lock your door. And this is very cool because a lot of locks don't do this, but they actually included 4 AA alkaline batteries, so you're already ready to go for a whole year. It's very nice of them to include these batteries. Something simple like that, I like. So now with all that being said, not much else to do here, but let's go get this thing installed in a door, set it up, and put it to the test. Now it's time to get this Philips Smart Deadbolt installed in our door. Now assuming you already have a hole drilled in here because you're replacing a current lock, the only thing you're going to need other than what came with the kit is a standard Phillips head screwdriver. This process should take less than 15 minutes at the most, so let's get this thing installed. So the first thing we're going to do is take our latch and get it placed inside of the door. As you can see, we're already ready to go. We're going to just slide it on in. Get it fitted right here. You're gonna make sure the silver circle is horizontal and also on the bottom of the hole. We're gonna take 2 of these small black screws to attach this to the door. Get it nice and tight, but not too tight, just like so. Next, we're gonna take our exterior assembly and feed it through the door. We're gonna make sure that this is horizontal and feed it through that same silver circle. We're gonna feed this wire underneath of the latch and place the rod through the middle, and everything will easily fit right into place. Next, we're gonna grab our interior assembly. We have 2 little switches on the sides. We're gonna push them both up so we can remove this mounting bracket from the inside. So next, we're gonna take our mounting plate that we just removed along with the 2 mounting plate screws. They're the big, long silver ones to get this thing mounted to the exterior assembly. So to do this, we're gonna take this white wire and feed it through this hole right here, just like so. And then this big circle in the middle is gonna line up with the little rod that's coming from the exterior assembly. Next, we're gonna take our screws, feed them right through. Everything should line up perfectly. We're gonna hand tighten it a little bit just to get it started on both sides, and then finish it up with our screwdriver. Make sure you don't over tighten the screws. Just get them nice and tight so everything's nice and secure. Of course, while you're doing this, you wanna make sure everything is nice and straight because there's nothing worse than a crooked lock. As you can see up here, there's room for another screw, but that is optional if you happen to have a hole or you made a hole. I didn't, so I'm just gonna skip that step. And as you can see, everything is nice and secure on both sides. We're ready to go to the next step. Next, we're gonna take our interior assembly and we're gonna remove the battery cover by pushing it up just like so. We're gonna take this white cable and plug it into this little port right here, just like so. Make sure it's secured. Next, we're gonna make sure this hole is sterile horizontal. We're gonna make sure it's horizontal on here as well. Line it up and push it into place. And while we're doing this, you wanna be careful with this wire not to damage it. We're gonna tuck some of it back inside to make room for the lock. And we're gonna lift up these little side pieces again, get it flush with the door, and lock it back into place, just like so. So now, as you can see, everything is nice and secured. And you know, before we get everything completely installed, we're gonna test everything. As you can see, it's working just fine. Next up, we're gonna take these two little black screws to get everything secured even further. We're gonna put both of them right here in the battery compartment, one on each side. Get it nice and tight, but don't over tighten it, just like that. And now everything is completely secured. And now finally, we're gonna take our 4 AA batteries, put them into place. Very easy step, if I do say so myself. And as you can see, we do have power. It automatically locked the door. And I heard it talking too. And now for the final step, we're gonna hold this reset button for about 5 seconds. It just said restart to factory settings, and it completely restored the lock. Setup successful, so now it looks like we're ready to use the lock. Of course, don't forget to put the battery cover back on, make it look nice. Boom, just like that. All right, so as you can see, installing this lock took a matter of minutes and was very quick and simple. It does look great. So now without further ado, let's get this lock set up for actual use. Now inside of the user manual, they do have a bit of a cheat sheet here to show you how to do everything that you can do with the lock. So I recommend you keep this on hand just in case you forget. But just in case it's too late, here's some programming instructions, 2 pages worth, as well as factory reset instructions, how to operate the lock, and how to program everything with information on the different modes. So we're gonna download the Philips Home Access app and open it up. You're gonna register an account and everything takes less than a minute to get set up. Once we're in here, we're gonna click Add a Device. And now we're gonna scan the QR code loaded inside the battery compartment. Now it's not on the battery compartment itself, it's actually right here on the battery door. We're just gonna scan it, just like so. It found our lock. We're gonna tap on Next. I'm gonna put the battery cover back into place. By default, the pin is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're gonna tap on Next. We're gonna name our lock. I'm gonna just call it the front door. Just like that, we're set up. So now we can tap on the front door lock. It loads it up. We have no password, so we can generate a password. The one-time code needs to ensure master code is correct. So you can go to the settings, okay. Now we have a one-time use code you can give out to somebody to use, and it only works one time. For example, if somebody's coming over to feed your pets and you don't want them to always have access to your house, you can have this one-time code so they can come in, do their thing, and leave and never come back. So now let's actually test it out. We'll lock the door. Oh, and of course, we have to remove this film. We're gonna wake up the screen and tap in our code, 99542633758, check mark. And the door unlocked just like that. So the cool thing is it's a one-time code. So if we lock the door, tells us the door is locked, wake up the screen, type it again, 99542633758. It doesn't work because the code was only for one time. So it looks like the app is only good for generating one-time codes. You do have to come in here and make sure your master code is correct if you do change it on the lock itself. That way it can sync together and you can make one-time codes. So let's go back, and we're done with the app. Very simple, right? So now that we got the app out of the way, let's actually go through all the features you can do on the lock itself. So now, of course, the first thing we want to do is change our default master code from 1 through 8 to our, regular code. So we're going to come up with a code. We're going to wake up the display. We're going to tap on X 2 times. We're going to type in our master code. Check mark. So I like how it walks you through all the steps. So it knows that we're in here, and now we're going to type in our new code. All right, now it's time to type in our new code. Let's see, 159783. 159783. It actually has vocal prompts letting you know which number to press to do which settings. So we already changed our master codes. So what we're gonna do is add a user pin code. So since it just exited the mode because I was explaining it to you, we're gonna tap on X 2 times, type in our code. Now we're gonna press 2, and now we're gonna make a user pin code. So we'll do 147852. 147852. And now we have a user PIN code. So now, once we get out of here, now if you want to use that new code, 147852, the door will unlock. Very simple. Now we're going to delete a user PIN code. So we're going to tap on 3. We're going to type in the code we want to remove. And now it deleted that code, so it'll no longer work. So we'll try it. And as you can see, the code is no longer valid. Next up, we're going to do my favorite feature, add a fingerprint. And now we're going to tap on 4. And now we're going to put our finger. We're going to move it slightly each time. So now our fingerprint is on here. So let's exit out. And now, just like that, my fingerprint works. Very cool. We can lock the door, try it again. Very quick and very accurate. I like it. So now if you want to remove a fingerprint, we're going to wake it up, get into admin mode. And now we're going to tap on number 5. And now we're going to scan the finger that we want to remove. And now it deleted my finger. So now if I try to unlock the door, it doesn't work because my finger's been removed. Next up, we're actually able to change the system language, whether you want English, French, Spanish, or silent. Personally, I'm kind of getting annoyed by the vocal prompts, so I'm gonna actually turn it off. So let's get into admin mode. We're gonna tap on number 6. So English is number 1, French is number 2, Spanish is number 3, and silent is number 4. So I'm gonna do number 4. So now when I go here, it doesn't talk anymore when stuff happens. It just flashes the light, which I think is a little bit better. Next up, we're able to adjust the auto lock setting. By default, it's turned off, but if you want the door to lock automatically after it's unlocked, we can set a certain time frame between 30 and 180 seconds. So we're gonna wake it up, get into admin mode. We're gonna tap on number 7. And I'm gonna have it lock after 30 seconds, so I'm gonna press number 2. So now, for example, if I unlock the door, it unlocks. Now we can count to 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, I did count a little bit too fast, but it did automatically lock by itself, which is a very nice feature in case you forget to lock your door from time to time. Now, when you leave your home and want to manually lock the door because you don't want to wait for the auto lock, you just have to wake up the screen and hold down any button for a couple seconds, and the door will automatically lock just like so. Very easy. And then there's this other mode called privacy mode. So for example, if you want to be home alone and don't want anyone to bug you, even people who have access to your home, all you have to do is lock the door and then hold down this button for a few seconds. And it'll enter privacy mode. So with privacy mode enabled, anybody who tries to unlock the door, it's not gonna work because you're locking everybody out effectively. Now, the only way to turn that off is you can unlock the door, or you can type in your master code and then it'll turn everything back to normal. So now that I unlock the door, everything works again just as it should. And then finally we have away mode. So this is great if you're going on vacation and nobody's gonna be coming into your home. So that way no codes will work, no fingerprints will work until you enter the master code, or you can use a physical key. Get into admin mode. And we're gonna tap on number 8. So now just like that, we're in away mode. So now we're away, so it's not gonna work even though my fingerprint is registered. Now the only way to get in, type in the master code, it'll unlock the door and turn off away mode just like that. Alright, so as you can see, the installation process and the setup process, programming and all that stuff was a very simple process. It's very easy to do, especially if you have the manual on hand, so you can actually see exactly what you have to press to do it. And I like how it does have vocal prompts to walk you through all the menu settings, so you actually don't really need the manual once you get into the admin mode. It just tells you if you want to do this, press 1, if you want to do this, press 2, and it's very easy. I like that. Now, there are two things I'm not a huge fan of with this lock. Now, the first thing, this is something that a lot of smart locks suffer from, and it's removal of a fingerprint. So let's say you have an ex and you don't want him or her to come over anymore. It's easy to remove the PIN code. If you know what their PIN code is, just type it in and it's removed. But if you want to remove their fingerprint, you have to have them come over and be like, hey, do you mind coming over and just putting your finger on there and, you know, taking it off of my lock, please? That's probably not going to happen unless you guys ended on really good terms. So in that case, you would have to completely factory reset the lock in order to remove their fingerprint and set everything up again for yourself and everybody else you want to have access to their house. Now, the second thing I'm not a huge fan of is the app. Although it does have an app, it's very, very limited. The only thing you can do with the app is make one-time PIN codes, but the good thing about making the one-time PIN codes is you can make them from anywhere around the world, all without being connected to the lock. It uses some sort of algorithmic mathematic equations to do it, and it's very impressive. Hopefully they're able to take this feedback into consideration for their future products, because other than those two things, it's a very well-made and good lock. Very good build quality, easy to set up, very beautiful design. The fingerprint reader is very quick and effective, hasn't failed me yet. PIN codes always work. It looks nice. I like how it has that little light on the top, and I like how you can just wake up the screen and it just pops up all the numbers. So all in all, if you're looking for a smart lock that doesn't have a bunch of cloud features because maybe you just want everything out of the cloud, off the grid, then this is going to be a great lock for you. And you do have the option of making one-time codes. There's the auto lock. You do have the option of making one-time codes on your phone if you want people to come over, you know, just one time. So overall, a good lock.